Bastardi is chief forecaster for Weather Bell Analytics. Joe, thank you so much for being with us. You were a little prescient in this one. You forecast something bad was going to happen. How did you know about it?
Well, this is what I was made to do. And, I always tell people that the foundation you stand on today was built yesterday to reach for tomorrow. And if you study weather patterns, and look, I have no life besides the good Lord, my family, and the weather, right? So this is all I do. If you go back and look at the past, you can see the setups for these kind of things. And back on July 16th, September, well, first of all, our preseason forecast called for a big in-close season. In other words, very little activity in the areas that got hit down in the Caribbean last year, but all further north. And you see where all the storms are going. They're all further north this year. And so what happens is this. When we get closer on September 16th, I'm on the air with people saying, I'll see you in October. There's going to be something coming out of the Caribbean up into the Gulf of Mexico, and I'll be on again. And when we got to about 10 days, 12 days away, well, actually September 20th, modeling was showing that the activity in the tropics and the global tropical activity would shift into the Atlantic, Pacific and Atlantic basin, Eastern Pacific and Atlantic. So you can see this stuff moving across. And once we put that together, we started warning our clients. And then we saw the big ridge build up again over the Northeast United States. Alberta, Gordon, and Florence all came in when that ridge went up over the Northeast and into Southeast Canada. This is known as the Newfoundland Wheel by the old timers. I guess I'm getting to be one of them, 63, and the men that came before me they taught me this, that whenever you get high pressure built in the Northwest Atlantic and the Northeastern United States in the hurricane season, folks, what has to happen underneath? Think about it. There's going to be a reduction of pressure. And when the pressure is reduced in a large scale over that warm water, you're going to get development. So it was right there. So what happened? By Sunday, we were forecasting a major hurricane hit on the Florida Panhandle. So we had a 3, perhaps a Category 4. Going into Florida from then. It was hardly even a tropical storm at that time. We did the same thing with Sandy, by the way, October 21st. Had that. And the reason is there's nothing magical about it. It has to do with trying to discern the long-term patterns, understanding what happened before, what's going on now, matching them up, and then use the great tools that science has developed to try to help us in seeing things like this. So that's what we did. It gets very frustrating, as you know. There's all sorts of distractions today. The world is full of noise, right? So there's noise about the Supreme Court nomination Sunday and Monday. So media is not paying attention. Tuesday, Nikki Haley resigns. Media is, oh yeah, there's a hurricane down there. Yesterday, of course, you saw the market crash 800. And so by the time the hurricane made landfall, you see the media going to the market, right? So what happens is, I think, that a lot of people got caught by surprise. What happens when there's a surprise? You got to go look for something to blame. Who do you blame? Climate change. It all just keeps moving along in the same circle. And so, maybe I'm just one of these guys that looks at linkage. Actually, this is shameless advertisement. I have a book out called The Climate Chronicles that describes what's going on today, where this is very little about this is actually about science and weather. Most of it is about other things, and that's what you see with these storms.
Joe, I want to ask you something about the winter. Are we going to have does this have anything to do with the fact we may have a colder than usual winter or more mild? What does it say?
Yeah. And I'll tell you why. I actually put this on Twitter. People on my site, Weather Bell, they see all this stuff that's going on. My professors at Penn State, when I was back there in the 70s, said, you have to explain the why before the what, so when it happens, people know why. You got to tell them before. What happens is this, folks, the same oscillations in the ocean that you will see in September and October cause enhanced tropical cyclone activity. If what we call the Madden-Julian oscillation, it's indirectly caused by the oceans and the state of the oceans. If that repeats itself in the winter, the same pattern that is causing this now repeats itself in the winter, what will happen is the winter gets cold and stormy. So let's go back and look at when there were major hurricanes from Florida into the Gulf of Mexico in October. You line up those years, you look, it's got a cold winter. The fact of the matter is that back last winter, we saw something go on, And we said, look, there's going to be what we call Modoki El Nino for the next winter. So this is 9 months away. Predict a big rainfall season in California in March and April, hence the wildfire season. You grow a lot of stuff in California because of a lot of rain. It dries out. They get big wildfires. It also meant a hot summer, right? So we have all this. We move from one thing to another. We want wildfires, summer, the hurricane season, all point at this cold, stormy winter, because all I do is line up past years when that happens. So we'll see if it happens. Only God knows tomorrow. The rest of us, no, that's absolutely, you guys, listen, you know what? It's the humility thing. So the atmosphere teaches you that, and it's a good tool for you.
Joe, you're terrific. Thank you so much.